Hello world and welcome to
The Voice of Evil,
or just simply how I approached the voice design of Darth Fenriz. As a starting point, I had really good reference material from other villainous voice designs such as Darth Vader from the original trilogy,
Don't be too proud of this technological terror you've constructed.
General Grievous from the 2003 Clone Wars cartoon,
Your training has served me well. It has awarded me many trophies.
Bane from The Dark Knight Rises,
Your money and infrastructure have been important till now.
and Dr. Samuel Hayden from Doom 2016.
The hell energy flows from a location in their world we call the Well, but you've returned.
I wanted a voice that sounds artificial and complex, but I also needed to make sure that it doesn't sound cluttered, so you don't hear what's going on. And I really wanted to avoid that it sounds like we simply slapped a plugin on his voice. I also wanted the voice to still sound human and to keep the character approachable and likable. And the altered voice also needed to easily connect to the unaltered scene where he says "weak Jedi scum." I also wanted to keep Vox Mala's charm that he put into his performance. And I also wanted to be able to adapt the voice to the character's emotions and intentions. And so I ended up with a setup that looks like this. Let's first listen to Vox Mala's original performance.
He will have lost as many years from his past as were stolen from his future. He will not remember you.
At the very top you have kind of a lo-fi aspect of his voice.
He will have lost as many years from his past as were stolen from his future. He will not remember you.
The way I achieved this is with Nuendo's built-in voice designer, and most of what's going on is a modulation with a square wave of 24 Hertz. And you can really hear that if you listen to it again.
He will have lost as many years from his past as were stolen from his future. He will not remember you.
And after the voice designer comes a bit of EQ and just a simple gate to remove some breathing sounds that were accentuated by the voice designer. And that's pretty much it. And the next voice layer sounds like this.
He will have lost as many years from his past as were stolen from his future.
The goal of this layer is to infuse his voice with a robotic and soulless quality. I achieved this with two voice designers this time. Let's listen to the voice designers one at a time.
He will have lost as many years from his past as were stolen from his future.
So this one really makes the voice sound monotone, and together with the second one,
He will have lost as many years from his past as were stolen from his future. He will not remember you.
and below the voice designers I have a bit of a bit crusher.
He will have lost as many years from his past as were stolen from his future.
And below that, some EQing and the gate. Below that, we have the amp track, which sounds like this.
He will have lost as many years from his past as were stolen from his future.
And this is super simple. A bit of EQing and a bit of fuzz type distortion. The layer below that sounds like this.
He will have lost as many years from his past as were stolen from his future.
This one is pretty much the same setup with a low pass EQ to saturate the low frequencies of his voice. And last but not least, we have this.
He will have lost as many years from his past as were stolen from his future. He will not remember you.
What I did here is I sent the voice through the Friedman Dirty Shirley guitar pedal. I would say that this voice layer is the most important aspect of Darth Fenriz's voice. The whole signal path, you know, from the DAW to the mixing console into the pedal and back to the DAW caused a little bit of lag, and While I was trying to fix it, I found a sweet spot where the frequencies caused just the right type of interference to glue them all together. I tried to reproduce it for this demo, but I guess it really was just a lucky accident because I couldn't. And the layers below that, they reintroduced the human elements to his voice.
He will have lost as many years from his past as were stolen from his future.
This whole setup allowed me to play with his voice and change it according to the character's emotions and intentions. So if we listen to an example of that, here he sounds really warm and kind.
Find solace by bringing your journey to an end. I will take care of you after all is done.
If you look at the settings here, you can see the low pass amp being fairly high to make him sound warm. If we compare that to a scene like this where he's in full-on evil mode.
It is a shame to waste your talent, but you had a choice, and you have chosen death instead of life for both of you.
Another example would be where he tries to sound nice, but then he kind of loses his temper.
Give your old master the peaceful life he deserves. Join me, and together we can undo what has been done.
And as the story goes on, if you listen closely, his voice changes more and more from trying to be a nice guy to full-on baddie at the end of the movie. If you look at the layers of his voice, you can see there's barely any human elements left. There's the robot voice and the distortion from the pedal. All of these voice layers then get sent to a little bit of compression, just to glue them together a little bit more. And the compressed layers then go to a reverb layer, which is separate, so I can change the panning on it independently from the voice itself. And here's the master with just a little bit more of EQing, a de-esser. And that is pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
There she is, a renegade Jedi. I see your master's life is worth nothing to you. What a shame that you didn't love him enough. I pity him.